Hi, this is part 2 of the You're Going to Write a Doctoral Research Project, What Do You Need to Know lecture, for those of you who missed it. First of all, your committee, we talk about that all the time, and I want to be really clear. You will have an informal committee, a concentration mentor, this is also being called a dissertation mentor or an early mentor, and their job is to really help you with the brainstorming and literature aspects of your topic. They should be an expert or have a lot of experience in that area to make sure that you're capturing the whole idea as you're reading the right things to direct you with your thoughts. We'll also have a methods coach, probably Dr. Seidel or Dr. Donovan, who is talking right now. They're going to help you with the initial brainstorming and then throughout the process that is focused on methods only. You will have a formal committee that you're going to form in the fall. That is going to be your committee chair. That person must be within your concentration area or at least within the EDD faculty. We're going to give you a list of who those people are this summer. Don't worry about this quite yet. The committee chair is your go-to person. They're going to be with you the entire time. They're going to be helping you and mentoring you throughout the whole process. You will also have 2 other committee members. One of them must be within the School of Education and Human Development. One of them can be anybody with a doctoral degree. Make sure it's not a conflict of interest if you are using somebody at your site who is also your evaluator and now they're determining if you get your doctorate. It can be a little bit confusing and we'll help walk you through that. This could be somebody within your concentration area here. It could be a methods person. There's all kinds of different choices that you have for this. You want to make sure that your committee is somebody that you really like and trust and who you feel are going to really support you and be content experts and really help you get your research A, completed, but B, completed really well within this topic. Partnerships. We talked about this in part 1, but you have to get data from somewhere. So pretty much all of you are going to have some sort of a partnership under CPEER, and it's really, really, really beneficial when you're co-designing a project to make it useful to your partner. Approvals. So you have to defend your proposal to your committee. Once you do that, there are going to be paperwork that is at that meeting, at that defense, that your committee fills out and submits to grad studies. That counts as your comps, your comprehensive exam. Congratulations, you will be done with that. Once you have approval from your committee, now you have to go through the ethics and partnership reviews. That is going to be the COMERB or peer approval or CPEER approval, depending on what path you go to. That's probably also going to include a lot of memorandum of understanding with your partner. Once you have all of that in place, you get approval from your committee, you get approval from COMERB or CPEER, you have all of your MOUs in place, then you get to actually start collecting data. You cannot do a survey, you cannot interview anyone until all of this is done. Here's another way to think about your timelines. This summer, we want you reading deeper into the literature within your topic. We're not checking in anymore. This is not an assignment. This is something that you need to be doing to stay on track. In the fall, you're going to design your conceptual framework. You're going to be brainstorming what partners you're going to use. We're going to be brainstorming what methods you're going to use. And some of that is going to be within those methods workshops. In the spring, that's when you write your proposal. You're going to hopefully defend March to April. Your IRB should be done April, May, and all partnership approvals should be done by June 1st. Ideally, all of this is done a month sooner than that, but these are kind of the end-all be-alls for partnership agreements, especially if you're using K-12 schools. In the summer, you might be able to collect data. Depending on your site, depending on if it makes sense, if it's pre-collected data, that would be awesome. But if you are, again, in a K-12 situation and you need to talk to teachers, you're not going to talk to teachers in the summer. It's just not going to happen. Trust me, I tried. In fall, that's when you'll do the rest of your data collection. You'll start your analysis. The next spring, you'll finish analysis, be writing, and defend your dissertation, your doctoral research project by April to graduate. It is possible that if you need a little extra time, you can defend in the summer. You can still graduate, I believe it's August, if you defend in July. So that is an option if you know that you're going to need more time. You have a lot of method supports. We're going to have those 2 Saturday sessions in the fall, one in September, one in October. Put those on your calendar. You need to be there. You're going to have coaching workshops in the spring that will be specifically geared to your project. So based on the coaching sessions in spring, or in the fall, we're going to create all of the workshops in the spring and invite you, like all the survey people will get together and all the focus group people will get together. And if everybody's doing a case study, all of those groups will get together. So it will be specifically geared to you. You will have data collection support through CPEER if you need to. So for example, if you're a principal in your school and you're trying to interview teachers, that's a power issue. We don't like that, but we can help support you through that. The same with data analysis. So again, as we talked about last time, don't be scared of higher level questions or higher level stats. We're going to help you get through that. We can also verify some of the stats that we're going to teach you this summer. So if you are going to do a t-test or an ANOVA and you just want somebody to look through it and say, am I even doing this right? We got you. So proposal aspects, 3 sections. What's the problem? What are others doing about the problem? What are you going to do about the problem? Those are the 3 sections. Your concentration area mentor will help you with sections 1 and 2. Your methods coach will help you with sections 3 during the brainstorming, and then your committee chair will look through all of it and make sure it's all good before you get ready to propose. So let's break this down a little bit and give you quite a quick example on how this is going to work. So you've been reading for an annotated bibliography. I want you to pause this video, I'm serious, pause it, and write down 3 to 5 main ideas that your literature has revealed. So 3 big things that you're finding people are talking about within the literature. Write those down. Pause. I'm serious. Pause. So we need to develop a conceptual framework. This is a visual representation of the literature. So in this case, they're looking at authentic, challenging tasks. That's the center. That is the entire focus of this study. And there's a lot of different aspects or things that you would see if a true, authentic, challenging task is happening. These are things that you would see. So you would have extended blocks of time. You would have performance-based assessment. You would have teacher that is acting as a facilitator, student exploration, etc. So these would be kind of a part of a whole. This also has a very specific center. They are looking at being learner-centered as a teacher. And there's 3 different aspects of that. So looking at these 2, what's the biggest difference? Don't overthink this. There's overlap. So here, these 2 ideas that are part of this whole center overlap. Here, teacher is facilitator and student exploration don't have an overlap. They're not interested in how they overlap. They're interested in this connected to this connected to this. Here, we're interested in all of the overlap to get to this centerpiece. Here's another one, completely different concept. So we have 2 main ideas, the portrait of a teacher and then standards. Well, to understand the portrait of a teacher, there's all kinds of different aspects that interact with each other and all become part of this idea. Within standards, we have a triangle down here that curriculum and performance assessment systems, these all kind of are interacting with each other here. And the key is the only reason that these are here and these are here is because to truly understand these 2, we need that. FYI, this is a huge multi-year study, not yours. What you could do is see something like this and say, wow, this is awesome. I'm really only interested in this part though. That's okay. In fact, if it is this complicated, I'm going to tell you you need to pull it back. Every single one of these pictures, or of these circles, or squares, have data and literature attached to them. So teacher's facilitator has its own set of data and literature that are underneath this. This is just representing a whole body of literature as it connects to this. So for my literature review, for example, I would start off explaining authentic, challenging tasks, and then say this is made up of all of these different pieces. And then my headings are each one of these. So teacher's facilitator would become a heading. What is all of the research about teaching as a facilitator related to authentic, challenging tasks? My next heading, student exploration. What's all the literature saying about student exploration related to authentic challenging tasks, etc. So we're going to brainstorm again. I want you to take your 3 to 5 big ideas, and I want you to represent them in a visual. So you're going to pause the video again. Think about arrows, think about direction. Is it a part of a whole? Is it a cycle? Is it a pyramid? Is it a picture within a frame? Is it an iceberg with the tip that you're interested in, but there's all this stuff underneath it? I don't know. You tell me. So pause the video and try to sketch this out. I mean it. Pause it. So now you got to think about, what are you really curious about? What do you want to know? If I gave you 10 seconds to describe it, how would you do that? So pause again, and I want you to write, what is it about this topic? What is it about this literature that makes you excited and curious? Write those down. Pause. Here's mine. So the assessment process is what I was interested in. We have a process. There's all the parts and pieces. I was interested in knowledge. So one of my surveys talked about knowledge of these things. The second part of my survey was about use. So how do teachers use these things? And the third part of my survey was looking at these two, because I was trying to understand this for K-12 teachers across all content, meaning the way that they are assessing is different. A music teacher is different than a math teacher, and the way that they're going to analyze and use that information is also very different. So my survey had to capture all of that information, meaning all of my data points led directly back to my conceptual framework. That's the point. What data do you need? This is the final point where you get to decide what your methods are. They have to be matched to your research question. They have to match your conceptual framework. And you're going to hear this all the time, trust the process, that it's not a linear process, that it's iterative, that all of this kind of goes round and round and round until you get it all in one nice final process, final project called a proposal. And it looks clean, and you don't understand how messy it is behind the scenes until you're in the middle of it. So look back at your conceptual framework that you just sketched out, what questions you were curious about, and then think about how would you add data to that. Would it need to be voice and stories and go qualitative? Would it need to be documents that you could collect to get the answers to fill in those different circles or squares or however you designed your conceptual framework? What data would you need to answer those questions? Once you've done that, then you can open up the guide to write a proposal. I'm going to show you this really quick, but this is a document that you should look at. So section 1, chapter 1, section 2, but what I really want to point out is this methods idea. This is your template to write all proposals from now on. You're going to write us one in the summer, you're going to write us one in the fall, like 2 to 3 pages, and then you'll write your big one in the spring. Each one of these becomes your heading. So what is your methodology? That is your heading. I'm going to do a case study. Well, what is a case study? Why is it the best choice for this study? What are you trying to do? Sample, your role. Procedure could be in a timeline and appendix. Data collection, exactly what are you going to do to collect data? Analysis, you can see that broken up by quant and qual. Validity, also broken up by quant and qual. P.S. If you're going to do mixed methods, you get to describe all of it for all of it. And then we'll be talking about ethical considerations and limitations a little bit more in the fall round class. Additional things that go into a proposal are going to be your actual survey that you're going to ask. It's going to be the interview or observation. It's going to be your protocols if you're doing qual. If you're doing qualitative and you're doing a priori codes, then you need to have a coding framework. Why are you using that code? Where did that code come from? Why is it so important? Your timelines, all of your informed consents, we're going to give you templates for. Your email drafts to invite participants. If you're going to do a phone conversation to invite participants, I want to know what you are saying specifically to get their attention. C-pair partnerships, all of that you will also have templates for, and then a million other things that could go in there, but these are the standards. Look forward to working with you and helping you in the future. If you have any questions, feel free to email Dr. Seidel or Dr. Donovan. I'll talk to you soon.